Well, hello there, everyone. How y'all doing today? It is Saturday, July the 1st, 2023. Second try at this. First time I had too much of an echo because I'm back from a trip and I forgot to put up my sound barriers, but they're up now. Hopefully it sounds a little better. Anyway, I'm back from a fantastic trip to Gary, Indiana. Yep, that's what I'm going to talk about. Before I get started, let me know if you want me to make a video of pictures. I took pictures of, I think it was like 66, 67, 68 different houses that most people in my group owned. And I'm looking for comments. Whatever comment outweighs the other one. Yes, make a video where I just put those pictures up. You can watch them all. I probably won't do any talking in that video. Or if you don't want me to, put a comment below. Let me know you don't want me to. That's in particular for any folks who may own those houses. If you don't want me to, put a comment below saying no and shoot me a message telling me which house you do not want me to show. And if I get enough people saying no, I won't do it. If I get enough people saying yes, and I'm looking for at least 5 responses saying yes, and then I'll do it because it will take me some time. So with that being said, I am Mazske Finance, coming to you again from South Florida. I'm not a CPA, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I did gain a couple pounds on my trip there because I did eat a lot in a variety of restaurants, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'll tell you all about it. And I'm gonna tell you about the city of Gary, Indiana. Okay, on this trip we did fly into Chicago and we did rent a car and made the drive over to Gary. It took about an hour and a half because it was kind of like at rush hour and it was slow going, bumper to bumper, stop and go for quite a bit. And I'm used to that from being a teenager living in Maryland, that kind of driving. So anyway, it took longer than I had hoped. We were delayed flying out of here. When we were leaving Florida, we had about an hour delay because they were short one flight attendant. And they had to call someone in because regulations require at least 4, they said on that size plane. So they had 3. And we had about an hour delay, okay? And as I saw when I was in Indiana, there were delays. The very next day, we flew out on Tuesday, I think on Wednesday, there were delays all over this country and into Thursday, I think, and into Friday. We flew back on Friday. We didn't have any issues flying back, okay? So anyway, I wanted to start looking at houses Tuesday evening, but I did not get a chance to do that. So on Wednesday and Thursday, I spent pretty much all day Wednesday and say half the day Thursday driving around to 67-ish houses in the city of Gary. I did not go inside any of the ones that I owned, but I did go inside one house that had some work done to it. It looked really very good. It had been cleaned up, had luxury vinyl plank down. My property manager gave me the key to the lockbox, so I went inside it and I found out one of my viewers, shout out Ken. Ken owns that house. So I went inside your house, Ken, as I told you. It looks fantastic. Luxury vinyl plank, had a new gas stove, a new refrigerator. Looks like fresh paint. It's been cleaned up. So it looks good. It looks good. I don't know what they expect to get for rent for that. So in that area, I can't remember exactly what area it was in. I went to so many different houses I can't remember all over the city. So, but anyway, shout out Ken. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll join my WhatsApp group. So with that being said, without further ado, a little bit about the city of Gary. I did have an opportunity. I did visit Gary in 2019. And on this trip, I went all over the city of Gary, okay? Gary, it looked better to my eyes in 2023 than it did in 2019. I know the city of Gary has been tearing down houses that have been burnt out or falling down. They can't do it all at once. It takes time. I know in the years since 2019, there was some majestic, like an opera house type building, downtown Gary, that had trees growing through it because holes in the ceiling, big, but 100 years ago it was a beautiful building. But that's gone. So what you see when you drive around, you see a lot of empty lots. You'll see it in the downtown area, empty space. And it's grown over, grass is grown over. You will find schools that are empty. You'll see some, what used to be traffic lights that now they're 4-way stop signs, and you stop sometimes, and it's a wide road, 5 or 6 lanes wide in some spots, and there's like almost no traffic. And to the left, it used to be probably a high school, and maybe there's a parking lot there, but it's all grass now, and it's fenced in where no one can come out anyway. And there's a neighborhood street to your right, but then a straight through, and You stop, you look, and you proceed on through. Okay, so we ran into that in a variety of places. Okay, um, Gary did not look bad at all to me. It has a reputation still online. You'll see videos. People will put out videos, the most miserable city in America, most crime-ridden city in America. And what they're doing is they're looking for the shock value. Nick Johnson, who travels around, he made a video driving through the rough parts of Gary, and he gets hundreds of thousands of views, million views. I'm here to tell you, Gary's not that bad. It is not that bad. I've been in Baltimore City. I've been in through St. Louis, and other places. That to me looked way worse than Gary looks. Okay. But with that being said, Gary does have some challenges. Okay. If you decide to invest in Gary, you need to be aware of these challenges. Gary is lacking. Gary's a pretty big city. It is roughly pushing 80,000 people there now. Geographically, it's a big city. Okay. I didn't look up square mileage of it, but it's a big city. Okay. It has roughly 80,000 people. At its peak, it had, according to the internet, 180-ish thousand people. So it lost a lot of people over, 50, 60-year period. All right. So a lot of those old dilapidated houses are gone. There are still some burnt out houses. There are still some falling down houses in the city, but not as many as there used to be. Okay. There are a variety of investors and perhaps homeowners that have fixed up houses. They look very nice. They look very cute. Out of all the ones I looked at that my group and myself owned, I'd just say 75% of them look very nice, very presentable. The other 25% or so, probably my guess is, I can't speak for the others in my group, but for what I own, once the current tenant moves out, then I will spend a pocket of money, $10,000 to $20,000 probably, to fix, rehab, paint, do a lot of work that you can't do when someone's living in there, and make the house look a lot better. Okay. So if you decide to invest in Gary, know that if you buy a house off the MLS, it's probably going to need some work. It might need $10,000 to $20,000 worth of work. If you buy a house from a turnkey company or one of the other people out there that flips houses, you got to do your due diligence. How well did they rehab it? Will it look pretty, but will it start breaking in a year or so? Okay. Do your due diligence. Okay. There are scammers out there. Be aware of that. They're everywhere, nationwide. Okay. Be aware of that. All right. But Gary is lacking businesses. Okay, there is a Hard Rock Cafe and Casino in the city. We did eat lunch there. Casinos, to me, I know a lot of you, I won't say you particularly, but a percent of you watching this probably love casinos. I dislike casinos. I think they're depressing places. I walk through them to go eat. I've been in a couple over the years. And all I see is people sitting there just putting money in, pulling a lever, just all by themselves. They're not socializing. They're just smoking cigarettes, drinking drinks. It's like, that's their life. I mean, it's like, so buses of people come in and do this. I mean, if it's a thrill, I did casino night when I was at the Ecker conference, and we'd have 5, 6 of us standing around chit-chatting because we're having fun. It was free. It was no money involved per se. We had coins. Okay, we could win, but we're not winning anything monetary. We could lose, but we weren't losing anything. Okay, in real casinos, think how beautiful these buildings are. There's a lot more losers than there are winners. Okay, keep that in mind if you decide to go to a casino. It's gambling. It's not investing, it's gambling. All right, but Gary is lacking a lot of other businesses as well. In no particular order. There's no Chipotle. There's no Panera Bread. There's no Starbucks. There's no Walmart. There's no Target. There's no Best Buy. There's no other restaurants, big name restaurants. There's I don't know. I'm sure there's like some kind of hotel in Gary. I don't think I drove by one. I stayed in a hotel in Hammond, Indiana, just out 10, 15 minutes away from Gary. Okay. I'm honestly not sure if there's a hotel. There's got to be a hotel in Gary, but there's not chains. There's where I stayed at. There was a Marriott. There was a Holiday Inn Express and Suites. There was a Hilton. And something else, I think. And there's some offices and a brewery was there too. Okay, all in Hammond. Okay. There is one part of Gary that has some local businesses that, there's a pizza place, Miller Pizza, I think it's called. There's 18th Street Brewery. I think there's a coffee shop somewhere out there. We did stop by the 18th Street Brewery. If y'all want me to put pictures up and I get enough yeses, I will include one of myself and the owner of that business. We had a nice conversation while there. Okay, while we were there. All right. But the city needs the business community to step up. Some business out there, such as the ones I named, needs to make a commitment to move into the city. Okay. Yes, it's still an economically lower class type city. There is a lot of money around there, though. There's a lot of people just outside of Gary. Okay. If you put the businesses in Gary, you will get folks coming there. It may take a little bit of time. Okay. Walmart, Target, Chipotle, Starbucks, Panera. Come on. Make a stance. Move in. Let's renovate that city. Let's rejuvenate it. Let's provide some more jobs inside the city. Okay? Let's give the people a place to go to, a safe place to hang out, to use the Wi-Fi like everyone around the United States does when you go to a Starbucks or a Panera or someplace. They sit in there and they have their laptops and they sit for hours sometimes on the free Wi-Fi. Okay? So it's lacking that kind of stuff. During the course of driving for a day and a half, or so all over the city, we saw one marked police car the entire time. That was it. We did not see open air drug dealing taking place. We did not hear any gunshots, nothing like that. I did get out of my car in a variety of different places, not in people's yards. I did it in one house I knew was empty. Somebody had just bought it and he told me it was empty. And I took a selfie in front of that house. Okay, I didn't go walking around or anything. I did go inside that other house, and I did walk around front yard, backyard of that house because I knew that was empty as well. Okay, I did not feel threatened in that city at all. I drove through what is the rough areas. I do know housing projects in that city have been torn down. Some of them, I don't know if all of them have, but some of the worst ones have been torn down, and the residents have moved out. Okay, so some of the riffraff is perhaps gone. Maybe they moved to Chicago because Chicago's had its issues. Okay? But if you want to invest in Gary, rents have gone up, housing prices have gone up. But don't expect to go buy something today and you're going to ride a wave of real estate increases over the next 20 years where you'll quadruple the value of your house. I don't think it's going to happen unless the business community steps up. Okay? As investors, we can renovate single family homes. As investors, I've mentioned this, I own an empty lot in the city. There are other empty lots in the city. If I can ever get deeper pockets where I got the money, I might try to build a new construction, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom type house. Okay? Most of the houses in Gary are 1960-ish and older. You don't have a lot of new construction in Gary. Hard Rock Casino is new, but you don't have new construction in Gary. Okay? You need some deeper pockets to step up, not just us little guys, okay? We can spin our wheels, we can rehab houses, but if nothing changes within the business community or within the city of Gary because there's no reason Gary cannot get back to 150 residents. They got the space, okay? They can do it if they want to, all right? But they need some assistance, in my humble opinion. Some people will disagree with me. I spoke with somebody who disagrees with me. They like the city just like it is, and they live there and they have a business there. They like it like it is, I think. Okay, but they don't want necessarily all these big businesses to come in. When I was a police officer in the Shenandoah Valley, the community I was working in was like a ghost town. I got hired. I'd drive around sometimes on night shift, and I'd be thinking, what have I done? I've made a mistake by getting a job here. The city is becoming a ghost town. It's going out of business. And then Walmart decided they wanted to come to town, and the city protested it. At the city council meetings, people turned out in droves. They did not want Walmart. It got approved. Walmart came to town. There was nothing in town, barely. Walmart came to town. Applebee's came to town. Lowe's came. Home Depot came. Did Chipotle come? Starbucks came. I think Chipotle came. Starbucks came. Places got renovated. More places came. Target came. A shopping center came. More stores came. Okay? Because one business came in, which was Walmart, and it turned that town around to provide hundreds of jobs, thousands of jobs perhaps. Then new neighborhoods got built. Okay. Gary has the space. Land is still cheap. Moving on for just a second. Outside of Gary is Hammond. We went to a brewery right near our hotel. It's called a Byway. And the one in Gary was called 18th Street Brewery. 18th Street Brewery. The one in Gary, 4 or 5 people were in there, counting the 2 of us. Okay. And the Byway, every night, we had dinner there every night because they had pretty good food. Every night the place was packed. I talked to both owners. Okay. The Byway, the one in Hammond, they do $2 million a year in revenue, roughly. Okay. The one in Gary, I didn't ask him. I guarantee you he doesn't even do $1 million in revenue. Okay. Why not? They're 15 minutes apart. Why not? Okay. The opportunity is there. Us investors, we can move in. We can still buy houses cheap, but prices are going up. But we need the business community to step up. Or one of you investors out there, if you have deep pockets, make an investment, open a franchise, just try to make a difference in that community in a positive way to create jobs. Build an office building, even though they kind of fallen on hard times, but build something. If you got the deep pockets, let's provide jobs there, because that's going to help us little guys with our houses. They will increase in value then. All right. So I personally like investing there. I will buy more houses as time goes on, especially if I can ever sell this one here. So with that being said, it's getting long. Remember, put in the comments below, yes, put up some pictures, no, don't put them up. And I will see what I can do. I stay busy. It's going to be a busy week coming up, so my videos may get a little sparser for the time being. All right, so with that being said, have a great day. Mazskes signing out.